HME B3. How you guys doing? I don't know. I've got some stuff. Who knows whether it's good or not? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I've got some stuff, let's put it that way. HME, doing pretty well, brother. I thought that I was going to be making a serious upgrade in my internet today, and it was a complete failure. So, hoping for a better day tomorrow. I actually bought these things called Orbi, which is like a network extender. And I didn't buy everything that I needed. So I need to run to Best Buy tomorrow morning, get the backup stuff that I need, and hope that this new solution, which is going to layer on top of my regular network, is actually going to be what I need to get excellent service. Miss Hustle, how you doing? Attila, how you doing, brothers? Good to see you, man. We are live indeed. RB3, yes, man, I want to thank you. The box was delivered yesterday, and I was holding off trying to do a live broadcast, and I should have sent you a message, but it did arrive safely. So thank you very much for that. We're going to actually, that's what we're going to open up along with some other stuff. Victor, how you doing? DS Comics, my man. Did I see you on Instagram? Did you just get an Instagram account earlier today? Please say yes if that was you. Thomas, good morning. Where are you located, man, if it's morning? All right, DS Comics, I can't tell you how many times I wanted to send you a message or say something to you and realize that I had to send you an email to do it. So it's nice that you are on Instagram, because now I can have a better interaction with you versus having to pop open email and send you an email. Thomas, welcome all the way from Kentucky. I appreciate you guys joining me. So I'm going to do a couple of things today. I am going to show you guys some books that I picked up. And if I can, I'm going to try to show you some really cool stuff on my phone that I had a chance to see earlier today. And then we're going to unbox some stuff. I have two boxes to the side of me. You guys will pick which one I open first, and we're going to pop those open. So I had a chance today to hang out with a couple of nerds. And I mean that in the best possible way. A couple of really cool guys, Ben and Chris, two guys that I highlighted in my Berkeley Comic-Con video. These guys have watched my videos in the past. They, Ben was on me and was like, hey, you're going to come to the Berkeley Con. You should come. So I went over there. I had a chance to meet him. I hung out with him for a little bit. He introduced me to Chris, who is also another guy that watches the YouTube channel. I got to spend a little time talking with these guys. Awesome guys. And so Chris had a crazy sale on some books. And I woke up from a nap. I saw them. I started sending them messages like, I want this book, I want that book, and I'm actually going to show you guys those books. But instead of having them shipped to me, I decided to go see him. He lives maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from the house. So I shot over there today, met up with him, and Ben came over. And these guys pulled out some crazy books. And RB3, you will like this. They had some amazing artwork, original art. I'm actually going to try to show you guys some of this on the phone. And DS Comics, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about that if I knew you were on Instagram, I would have been sending to you, because I've been sending these screen grabs out to a couple of people, because I had a blast chatting with these guys, and they pulled out some really cool stuff that I got a kick out of seeing. So one of the things that they pulled out to me that Ben pulled out is Detective Comics number 69. And this is a Joker cover and story. And you guys that are Batman fans or Golden Age fans may really appreciate the significance of this particular book. But I think it's a really cool cover. This is something that Ben literally just got, I think yesterday or day before or something like that. He told me about it via Instagram, and then I had a chance to actually see the book today. I am not a Batman fan or a detective fan, but it was a cool book to see. He also pulled out his Detective Comics number 35. This was another really cool book to see. But they kind of walked me through a little bit of the history of the pre-Robin era for Batman, and some really cool history there, some really cool covers. But these were two of the books that they had on hand that they kind of pulled out and let me kind of check out. But the stuff that was really, not that these books weren't impressive, but the stuff that was really, really impressive was they had some Michael Turner artwork. One of the covers, I don't remember which book, but it was right before he passed away, some of the cover art that he actually put together. So they had several things from Michael Turner, some J Scott Campbell original art, and some Jim Lee original art from the X-Men series. But this is what has been called, and I can't remember who the artist was on this one. This is actually Michael Turner, and this is the Trinity. So that new term that anytime I guess like Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman are together, they are called the Trinity. But this is a Michael Turner piece of art. This was not from a cover, but I guess it was from a con book or something like that. Very, very cool piece of artwork there. Another, and I did a little zoom in of the Michael Turner signature, but the pencil work on this original art was just incredible. The level of detail that Michael was able to get into his work was incredible. They also had this wonderful Jim Lee Trinity piece that is just incredible, featuring Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And what was crazy about this is they used a horizontal slash marks to basically do the inking. I don't know if you can really see it really well here, but I'll tell you, the photos don't do this artwork justice at all. This stuff was gorgeous. Like we spent maybe 10 minutes a page, if not 15 minutes a page, just sitting there discussing some of this artwork. And you guys know me, I like to hear the backstory. So what was the backstory behind it? Like, I don't want to know how much you paid, but I want to know, how did you get it? What was the story behind it? And this was a really cool one. A really awful photo that I took, but this is a J Scott Campbell Secret Invasion piece of art. And this thing is just slick. The detail in this thing is incredible. And it was just an entire book of just page after page of gorgeous artwork. And this one blew me away. So this is a page from the X-Men series, Jim Lee. And you can see here that there was the artwork that was done, and then the letterer basically did the words and then cut the words out and then glued them to the artwork. And you can kind of see that down here with like the creatives, and then you can kind of see that the color of the bubbles is a little bit different from the paper itself. This was cool because there was some craftsmanship that went into making these individual pages. And I mean, it was incredible. I think this is from X-Men number 3, this page 17 or issue 17, Colossus, Beast, Gambit, Rogue. I mean, Jim Lee is just an incredibly talented man, you know? So this stuff was incredible to see. It was gorgeous to see in person. And you know, I ended up only taking a couple of photos of some of the stuff. By the time I realized I should have been taking photos, we had already probably spent an hour looking at this one book. So let me get caught up real quick. Jim Lee page is real. It's definitely for sure. RB3 is talking about probably in the 50K range. Brother, it was some original, wonderful art. We actually spoke about you. What was funny is they watch my videos, of course, and they hear me talk about you a lot. And they kind of made a couple of comments that you seem like a really nice guy. So, you know, again, somebody else was talking about this whole idea of community, and it is a wonderful thing, as you guys know. So John's Comics, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, man, Jim Lee is definitely the man. And, Ben jokingly asked what I was walking out of there with, and I was like, absolutely nothing, because I didn't bring that kind of money with me. But I did pick up a couple of really cool books, and part of it is that I remember I was talking to Matt Thanatos one time, and he kind of made a comment to me like several months ago about wanting to buy something from somebody in the community because he wants to keep the money in the community. And at the time, I don't know that I appreciated that, but today I did. right? I bought a couple of books that maybe I could have bought somewhere else. Maybe I didn't need the books, but I bought them because I was buying them from a guy that I know, guy that I like. And then I went over and had an amazing experience just chatting with two super knowledgeable comic book guys. So some of the stuff that I'll show you is not the best grade, but that's okay because I didn't pay a crazy amount of money for it, and the money is going to a very good place. That's another person in the community that's probably going to buy a, turn around and buy a book from one of you guys. So one of the things I picked up was a lower grade X-Men number 28 featuring Banshee. I just thought this was a really cool cover. I've seen this thing several times, had it in my hands several times, and finally decided to pull the trigger. And you can kind of see what I mean by low grade. But it's a pretty cool book to have in the collection. It'll look really good next to the X-Men 1 that's back there. I picked up another Uncanny X-Men book, number 130. This is featuring the Dazzler. Just a really nice cover. I have Dazzler number 1, and part of the reason why I got this is because Dazzler number 1 and this Uncanny X-Men are very similar. I don't know if it's the exact same pose, but I just thought it was a cool book to have, which is why I picked it up. I picked up another Uncanny X-Men. There's a theme here. Number 211 featuring one of my favorite characters, Wolverine. So I kind of like this one. Again, a book that I've seen a couple of times around, decided to finally pull the trigger. And then another Uncanny X-Men 213. It's just one of those books, for whatever reason, whenever I see this Sabretooth Logan cover, I pick it up. I think I have like 3 or 4 of these books already, but you can't have too many. So pick that up. Spider-Man's in here. So I picked up Amazing Spider-Man number 52. I have held this book maybe twice. The first time, it was a really, really, really awful copy when I was down in Dallas. Couldn't pull the trigger, but this is a book I love. I just love, I think there's 3 of these water covers. This is number 52, Amazing Spider-Man. I absolutely love this cover, and hope to be able to get the other ones relatively soon. Ben was trying to convince me to get Barbie number 1, which was drawn by John Romita, and I could not pull the trigger on Barbie number 1. I just absolutely refuse. DS Comics, whose first appearance? Whose first appearance were you talking about? Oh, the Dazzler? It could be. It could be. I'm honestly not sure, to be honest with you. I think it might be. And again, that's part of the reason why I picked it up, but also because of the Dazzler number 1, which I thought is a really cool book as well. Uncanny X-Men 211 is absolutely a part of a really great run. The original art cover, so 2 page. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. First Dazzler. Thank you guys for confirming that. So speaking of really cool chicks, I picked up this book, and I saw this book at Berkeley Comic-Con, and I told you guys when I recorded that video that I walked out of there empty-handed. I did, however, walk out with a plan and some photos of some books that I wanted to get, and I actually did get one of them. This is X-Men number 50. This is the origin of the Beast and the second appearance of Polaris Laura Dane. So I picked this up. I've been watching that Gifted TV show, and kind of, like the Polaris character on there. But this Steranko cover is gorgeous. It is a yellow and green cover, not something that you see every day, but this thing is gorgeous, and it absolutely speaks to me. Whenever I see this book, I just want this book. So again, I could have probably gotten a higher grade versus a 9, but you know what? The money goes to a good place. It's a gorgeous book in great shape, and I couldn't be more happy to have this in my collection. So picked up a couple of really cool things today, and as I mentioned, also had a wonderful time hanging out with these guys. And what was crazy is that I was planning to go over there, pick up my books, and leave and get back home. And what ended up happening was I started chatting about this original art. Before I knew it, Ben had arrived, and then I was like, let me run to the restroom. So I run to the restroom, and then I realized it's 3 o'clock. I had been there close to 2 hours standing and talking about comic books. And so I left my wife thinking that I was just running to the store real quick. because again, my intention was to run to the shop, well, not to the shop, but run to get the book and then hit a LCS and then come home. And then, 2 hours later, I'm stuck in traffic. 3 hours have gone by, and my wife doesn't care, but it was gone a lot longer than I anticipated. But it was a great day to spend a couple of hours with a couple of cool guys. So if you guys, I know I think like 5 people actually bought some books from Chris yesterday because he had some pretty good books at some fair prices. So if there's anybody out there that's watching this that still wants to pick up some books, it is CW Comic Sales. CW Comic Sales on Instagram. Check him out. Tell Chris that I sent you. He's probably watching this video anyway on replay right now, but definitely a good guy that I trust that you should buy from. So I have 2 boxes. This one is from RB3, so I know what's in this one. This one is from a private seller, and I think I know what's in this one, but I'll let you guys decide. Do we go brown or white? What's the order here for opening these boxes? Brown or white? RB3, great prices. Comic-Con promised me this weekend. Jim Lee. So I hear Jim Lee is actually going to be in Vegas sometime soon, so I may need to swing by Vegas or at least send something to my buddy RB3 over there. Miss Hustle teasing me with the nerd talk comment over here. Oh, so you guys are having a conversation. Okay, good. Very good. All right, so I see a couple of people for brown, so let's go with brown. We are going to pop this one open, and I think I know what's inside of this one, but we will know for a moment. The cool thing is the money that I spent today with Chris, I pretty much recouped from another guy that watches the YouTube videos. He had reached out to me and said, hey, are you trying to sell any books? And lo and behold, I had 2 slabs that I was actually trying to sell. One of them he was actually looking for. So I was able to sell him one of the books that was already slabbed. It was a 7.5 Black Lightning #1. So I sold that to him, and then I threw in #2 because I had that book on hand, didn't really have much need for it, and I think he really appreciated it. So I dropped those in the mail to him earlier today, and then part of that money went to paying for this stack over here. So it was a win-win for everybody. All right, so we've got some random pieces of cardboard, but not complaining because the book seems to be intact and well received. So let's cut this thing open. Let's see what we have inside of here. Do a little more cutting. So I don't know about you guys, but I've been watching this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like non-stop. It's like binge watching every chance I get. I've been checking the show out, and I think I'm on season 4 or something, but I am absolutely loving this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, yeah. All right. So this has a little bit of a crease. This, when you stack books on top of each other, sitting flat, this book has had some pressure applied to it, but it appears to be in excellent shape. And I think a little press if I decide to bump that out. There's a little color breaking tick at the top, but other than that, it is in great shape. It is the final piece that I need to complete a very important run that I recently spoke about in one of the videos. One of the reasons why I am captivated by Wolverine, it is Marvel Comics Presents number 72. This is the last book that I needed to complete this run. And I've had this book in my shopping cart several times and not been able to pull the trigger for one reason or another. DS Comics, there was a 9.8 in there one time, but the guy wanted too much money, and this book's not really worth that, so I couldn't pull the trigger, but I decided to get a raw copy. I'm gonna drop this in a MyLite in a few moments and drop this bad boy in a box, which completes this run, which is awesome. So this is a Barry Windsor Smith cover, very iconic cover for this run. I've waited a long time for this, and it's not a grail. It's not a key, but it is an important book for my personal collection, and one that I'm super pumped to have in the collection. So that's cool. So this is thank you guys, Miss Hustle, thank you, Thomas, thank you guys, I appreciate it. So Attila, this is, I don't know if it's the first appearance of Weapon X, but it is the Weapon X story arc gets told. And I did a whole thing on this where I was talking about, you know, this is like one of my favorite story arcs to read. You know, there were a mishmash of writers and artists and inkers that were responsible for Weapon X, but as a whole, I think the Weapon X story is a great story that, in my opinion, makes you empathetic towards Wolverine, because, you know, they subjected him to all kinds of physical torture, if you will, psychological tests to break down his humanity and essentially turn him into an animal. And he persevered through that. And so it made me very sympathetic toward Wolverine. It made me want to root for him. It's kind of like the underdog, you know? And it's part of the reason why, honestly, I am a fan of Wolverine. It's possibly because of this story arc and me reading this story arc over and over and over again in high school. And I read it several months ago, and you know, realized that some of the writing, some of the artwork was a little all over the place, but by and large was a pretty cool story arc. So RB3 is no joke. RB3 is no joke. He had this thing in a box, wrapped in bubble wraps, and inside of some cardboard. This is A1 packaging. Okay. So I want to give a shout out to two Rays. I want to give a shout out to RB3 Ray, and there's another Ray that's out there. Oh, we got a little crease here. Oh. Gotta fix that. Might be able to fix it. So we can probably fix that. The one Ray watched the video and saw that I wanted a virgin copy of a book, and I didn't have it. And I was planning to send the book to RB3 to have Adi Granoff sign the book for me. And the other Ray 2, reached out to me and said, hey, I have it. I will sell it to you for cost, and I will send it to Ray, RB3, for you. Bought the book. He sent the book. My book that I sent to RB3 and the book sent from Ray number 2 arrived on the same day, I do believe. And RB3 was gracious enough to take these two books for me to get signatures from Mark Brooks and Adi Granoff. And so this is a cool book. This is a gorgeous virgin book, and RB3 had Adi Granoff signed down here in red. It sets off the book. It's really well done. This is really cool. RB3, thank you, brother. This and Ray, if you're watching this, thank you for selling this book to me. I had never seen this book in person, to be honest with you, because you sent it directly to RB3. But it is a perfect copy. It really is gorgeous. This thing is cool. This is a cool book, cool signature. And again, it goes to the community that I'm talking about. You know, neither one of these guys had to do what they did for me, but they volunteered to help me out, and I'm very appreciative for that. I really am. So that was the Adi Granoff. Mark Brooks was also there, and he did some really cool stuff. He had some really nice artwork, and what I tried to do was I looked through my personal collection to see what I had from him, and this was a book. It's a modern book. I saw it on the shelf, and I wasn't really reading the title, but the book struck me. And so I bought the book, and this is, I believe, the first appearance of the Immortal Hulk, and it is a really cool cover. And Mark Brooks signed right there on his cheek. Looks like Iron Mike Tyson with the face tattoo. This is a cool book, you know, great signature, great cover, and I actually went on to get the Immortal Hulk series. I've been reading that and really enjoying it. It's almost like a throwback horror book, and I've kind of enjoyed that. But this is one of those covers, man. This haunts you. Look at those eyes. That will haunt you. No doubt about that one. So, but a couple of really cool covers. All right, so let me get caught up here on the, yeah. So Jeffrey, they were, Ben was trying to get me to buy Barbie #1 because it was actually drawn by John Romita. And I honestly did not know that John Romita drew Barbie, but apparently he drew Barbie #1. So, yep. So thank you for confirming. So Jeffrey's confirming that this is indeed the first cover of the Immortal Hulk. It is. I saw the book on the shelf at the local shop and I was like, I'm taking that book home because it really is a cool book. So, great series. I've been looking for that book you have in your hand. Yeah, it's a good book, man. And I think it sold out pretty quickly, to be honest with you. But it was a book that just spoke to me. And I had the trade version of this book, but not the virgin. And so this is just one of those covers, man, that is just really, really well done. And it is striking. I'm a big fan of like red, like anything with red in it, I'm on board with, right? Red candy, whatever it is, I'm on board. And this one with all the red, with the sash kind of swirling around her, the Infinity Stone in her hand. I mean, it's just a really, really well done cover. So super pumped to have these. And I was debating in my head whether I sent these books in to CGC to have them slabbed or whether I wanted to keep them raw. And honestly, I think I made the right call to keep them raw. I think they're gorgeous books. You know, RB3 put them in Mylights or Mylars. I don't know what these are, but I'm very appreciative for that. And I'm going to drop these in a box right behind me, and they will be very good. So, yeah, are they red? There's a fair bit of red back there. DS Comics making a comment that there's a lot of red back there on my wall, and he is right. What was crazy is when I was hanging out with Ben and Chris today, man, they had Chris had 3 copies of Eternals #1. And I was so close to buying all 3 of the Eternals #1 because I love that series. And there's a little bit of red in that one, you know, a little bit of red now, but I came close to buying a couple of copies of that thing. So Ray, how you doing? Welcome. Old Man Comic Guy, welcome. Thank you for the kind words. Evan, how you doing? Miss, what is Miss Hustle saying? I should put my little thingy on the door. Reading Barbie. You know what, Miss Hustle? If I had known you were a Barbie girl, I would have gotten that book for you so that you could check it out. So a couple of really cool things that happened today. A couple of really cool books came in. I have 2 orders from CGC that are en route right now. I have Iron Man 55 en route. That should be here the middle of next week. And then I have 15 additional books that should probably come in that Friday of next week. So of course we will do some live unboxing of those 16 books, kind of spread across probably the 2 days, unless something dramatic happens. I have not looked at the grades because I've been talking to a couple of guys on Instagram and they're like, so you're going to tell us the grades? I'm like, you know what? I absolutely don't know. I have not peeked. I have not looked. I've wanted to. I've come close to looking, but I have not actually looked at the grades. So those 2 books should be, I'm sorry, those 2 boxes, 2 orders should be here relatively soon. I have another box, another order that's en route. I honestly can't even remember what I ordered because I pre-ordered it months and months ago. The order was lost. The distributor's entire order was lost. That was en route to CGC. So he had to get new books. He had to send them to CGC. They showed up damaged. He had to get them cleaned and pressed and then slabbed. And they're supposed to come back guaranteed at 9.8. I can't even remember what the book is. Probably don't even want the book now at this point. But hoping that book will make an appearance in the next couple of weeks. The guy is not the best at customer service. He continues to send materials that I've ordered in months past to an old address. So they bounce around in limbo until they find me here. But I'm hoping that they show up a little bit sooner rather than later. So we'll do a quick recap and then we're going to get ourselves out of here. I like to do the recap just for those people that kind of show up a little bit late. So we're going to go through the books that I picked up from a guy named Chris on Instagram. I picked up this wonderful copy of X-Men number 50, which I think is an incredible Steranko green and yellow cover. Second appearance of Polaris. Absolutely love this book. A couple of low grade books. One of them is this X-Men number 28. Just a really nice cover here, and it is red, so maybe that's why I bought it. But you've got the old X-Men uniforms down there, which is kind of cool. X-Men number 213, classic Wolverine and Sabretooth cover. What else do we have here? We have Uncanny X-Men number 211. Just a really cool cover here. Book I've been thinking about adding to the collection for some time. I think there's this one with Wolverine. There's one with Cyclops that's very similar to it. And I may pick that one up at some point. We have, I think, confirmed the first appearance of Dazzler in Uncanny X-Men number 130. Very cool book here. And set that right next to Dazzler number 1, which is floating around in a box by itself because it has no place to go because it is a single book title. We have Amazing Spider-Man number 52. Absolutely love this book. The water covers, I think there's 3 of them. I absolutely love these books. And I don't know if it's in this one versus the other. There's that scene where he is trapped in the sewer underneath like some works, sewer works or something. And he's trying to, get himself from underneath this stuff. And just though, I think it's 2 pages of just him struggling with this load on his back is one of the most compelling scenes I've seen. And I don't know if it's in this one. If it's in this book, I'm cracking this book and I'm flipping through and I'm reading this book because I want to see that scene in person. I've seen it digitally. I want to see this book. I want to see that in person. Book that I unboxed today was this one. This was Weapon X number 72. This is the last in a run for the Weapon X series. The very first one I was actually missing, so I picked that up. And then a couple of books came back from RB3, who got them signed for me by Addie Granoff. This really cool Virgin cover, just gorgeous. And then the last one was a Mark Brooks, very cool, creepy Immortal Hulk that was signed over here looking like Mike Tyson. So those are the books that I wanted to show you guys. And if you joined late and you missed the beginning, go back and watch the beginning of this. I want you to watch it because I had an opportunity to spend some time with 2 really cool dudes who showed me some crazy books, Batman books. If you're a Golden Age Batman fan, you want to check this out. And also some amazing original art from Jim Lee, Michael Turner, and J Scott Campbell. So you guys know I've been talking a lot about J Scott Campbell. So they pulled out all the big guns for me to check out. So if anybody wants to make a donation to buy me any of those X-Men original art panels, I will gladly accept that. Yeah, Jeffrey, you are very welcome, brother. You are very welcome. Victor, thank you for joining. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for taking a little bit of time out of your day to join me for this chat. As always, I thank you for any thumbs up that you may leave me on this video and also any comments that you may make. Stay tuned because we will probably be live again tomorrow. Take care, guys.